Stop whatever you are doing and put down the popcorn because the Asylum has just declared war on cinema again. And this time they aren't just releasing a movie, they are unleashing a reptile-infested fever dream that makes Sharknado look like a National Geographic documentary. We have just witnessed the trailer for the Anacondas, and if you thought the upcoming Hollywood remake starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd was going to be the wildest snake movie of the year, you are dead wrong because the kings of the Mockbuster have beaten them to the punch with a trailer so chaotic, so gloriously low budget, and so unashamedly ridiculous that it demands a frame-by-frame breakdown of its insanity. For those uninitiated in the dark arts of B-movie culture, The Asylum is the studio that looks at a blockbuster release schedule, picks the biggest movie, creates a knockoff version for 1% of the budget, and releases it 3 months early to confuse grandmothers and entertain stoners worldwide, and the Anacondas is their latest magnum opus designed to draft off the hype of the Anaconda reboot, but instead of highly paid actors and Weta Workshop CGI, we get a plot that sounds like it was written by an AI hallucinating on energy drinks. The premise is absolute gold. A troupe of stand-up comedians, yes, you heard that right, stand-up comedians, heads out into the wilderness for a bonding retreat to work on their tight five, only to find themselves at the bottom of the food chain in a snake-infested nightmare zone. The trailer opens with that classic ominous drone shot of a generic forest that could be the Amazon, or it could be a backyard in Burbank, California, instantly setting the tone that we are in for a masterclass in cost-effective filmmaking. We are introduced to our cast of comedians, characters who are clearly designed to be snake fodder, cracking bad jokes that are about to be cut short by digital fangs, and this setup is actually brilliant because it allows the movie to lean into the meta humor that the Asylum thrives on. They know this is a bad movie, the characters probably know they are in a bad movie, and the snakes definitely know they are in a bad movie. Let's talk about the stars of the show, the snakes themselves. In the original 1997 Anaconda, we had a groundbreaking animatronic that terrified a generation. But here, in the Anacondas, we have computer-generated imagery that defies the laws of physics, lighting, and biology, with snakes that seem to change size between shots, gliding over the ground without actually touching it, and unhinging their jaws wide enough to swallow a subplot whole. There is a specific moment in the trailer where a snake lunges at a character, and the editing is so frantic, so choppy, that you can't tell if the person was eaten or if the video file just corrupted. And that is the charm of this genre. It's not about immersion, it's about survival, both for the characters and the audience. The trailer showcases a level of violence that balances on the razor's edge between horrific and hilarious, with practical blood effects splashing onto the camera lens in a way that feels like a loving homage to the splatter films of the 80s, mixed with digital blood spray that looks like it was added using Microsoft Paint. We see the comedians trying to use their wits to survive, which essentially amounts to running in circles and screaming. But the real hook here is the sheer volume of snakes. The title, The Anacondas, is plural for a reason, implying that this isn't just one rogue predator like the original film, but a localized infestation, a writhing carpet of death that surrounds the cabin, raising the stakes and the body count significantly. The Asylum has also mastered the art of the impossible kill, and the trailer teases scenes where the snakes attack in ways that snakes physically shouldn't be able to, leaping from trees like heat-seeking missiles, and crashing through windows with the force of a freight train, turning the stealthiest predator in nature into a blunt instrument of destruction. One of the most fascinating aspects of this trailer is the sound design, which seems to consist entirely of stock Scream assets, and a synthesizer soundtrack that is trying desperately to sound like Hans Zimmer, but ends up sounding like a ringtone from 2005. Yet it works perfectly to create that frantic, low-budget atmosphere. We have to address the timing of this release, because it is a tactical nuclear strike against the mainstream industry. By releasing this now, The Asylum captures the search traffic, the curiosity, and the memes before the real movie even drops a poster, proving that in the modern attention economy, speed is more valuable than quality. The acting in the trailer is exactly what you want it to be. Overcommitted and screaming at an 11 out of 10 intensity, with actors delivering lines like, "We're gonna need a bigger punchline," or whatever cheesy one-liners the script throws at them with straight-faced conviction that deserves an Oscar for effort. There is also a hint of a subplot involving a survivalist or a guide, who warns them about the cursed ground, a trope as old as time, played by an actor who looks like he's seen things, mostly bad scripts, and is the only one taking the threat seriously while the comedians try to roast the giant reptiles. The cinematography deserves a mention for its overuse of the shaky cam technique, used to mask the fact that the giant snake isn't actually in the room with the actors, creating a sense of chaotic disorientation that puts you right in the middle of the panic. But deeper than the bad CGI and the questionable dialogue, the Anacondas represent something important in film culture, the unkillable spirit of the B-movie. In an era where franchises are meticulously managed and sanitized, this is pure unadulterated trash cinema, made with a passion for entertainment, promising 90 minutes of brain-dead fun where you can cheer for the snake. The trailer ends with a money shot of a massive snake confronting the final survivors, roaring like a lion because why wouldn't a snake roar in this universe? Before smashing to the title card with a font that looks suspiciously similar to the blockbuster it's ripping off. This isn't just a movie, it's a challenge to the viewer to suspend their disbelief until it snaps in half. It's a reminder that movies don't have to be good to be enjoyable, they just have to be loud, fast, and full of giant snakes eating people. So if you are tired of elevated horror and 3-hour superhero epics, The Anacondas is calling your name, promising a return to the days of renting a VHS based solely on the cool cover art, only to find a cinematic disaster that you can't look away from. It's terrible, it's cheap, and it's arguably the most honest piece of marketing you'll see all year, because it promises exactly what it delivers: big snakes, dumb people, and a glorious waste of time.